Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go! Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for?
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the Unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes.
Do you think that worked?
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to The Real Raw. Some of you are like, what the heck is going on? What is happening? And if all you lunatics said yes to Drew Berman, that says a lot about you. You gotta be connectors, you gotta be fun people, because that Drew Berman, he knows how to chat, he knows how to connect. He's been a marketing expert for over 2 decades, and I am so grateful that we're spending this time together because you, all of you, are leaders in your professions, whether it's legal, accounting, financial. This is what this is. It is a dinner at your favorite restaurant, but instead of food and booze, you have to deal with Drew, Gina, and Fernando. And you meet people you don't know, you meet some people maybe you do know, and I promise you, it's gonna be a little bit of fun. And the purpose is to demonstrate something we do every day, whether we like it or not, is to demonstrate that influence is truly a superpower. Because we go from hello to yes every day with ourselves, our loved ones, our clients, our partners, our donors, our investors. And here's what we're here to demonstrate and have a little fun. But enough about me. Gina, how are you? Who do we got here today?
I'm amazing. Thank you. We have extraordinary guests. First, joining us from Las Vegas, Nevada. She's the co-founder of Law Clerk, getting the work done working with over 1,000 lawyers and law firms around the country. It's where attorneys go to hire their virtual associates and freelance lawyers. She's a partner at Garman Turner Gordon LLP and a proud mother of 2. That is not easy as you're building your empire. Please join me, everyone, in welcoming Kristen Tyler to The Real Raw.
What's up?
Thank you, Gina. Wow.
Welcome
What an intro.
You're like a superstar and you have an incredible, beautiful background. You're an incredible parent. You're building and leading organizations. So my question for you, Kristen, is what the heck do you do for fun? What's a fun fact about Kristen? Over to you.
What is fun? No.
Right. That is fun. That right there. That's
you got to build it in any chance you get. So for example, I have to go to New York City in a couple of weeks for a conference. Valerie's going to be there and kids are coming along. We got the Airbnb for the week and they can do all the fun stuff in the city and have dinner together at night, but mom will be working. So you just got to blend it in. And I like to travel, like good food, and mainly just like to be home with my family.
Well, Kristen, that is beautiful and incredible. And I can clearly hear that you're very shy. You feel very uncomfortable in front of the camera. I'm just kidding. And I'm so grateful to have you here and learn more about you. And I love that you know Valerie. Gina, who's next?
Coming over to our coast, Fernando, Fairfield, New Jersey. She's a VP at Business Banking Valley National Bank, Women in Business Ambassador of New Jersey. She's honored as top 25 leading women entrepreneurs in New Jersey. I'm not sure if that's just in New Jersey, but that's amazing. Officer of Women's Golf Association of New Jersey. Please join me, everyone, in welcoming Marianne Beltz to The Real Raw.
Marianne Beltz, welcome. And in Total Fun Energy, Gina, your dog is mooning all of us, and we love it. And that's okay. We can leave the puppy there. We're not taking away from Mary's incredible intro. So Mary, voted the best in anywhere, truly puts you in such a small percentage of human beings. I am grateful to be sharing the East Coast with you as I'm here in our 20,000 square foot office in Paramus. So what's a fun fact about Mary? Over to you.
Fun fact, I'm just a golfaholic. I have to be out golfing. It's a fun thing to do and it's a way to network. So,
well, Mary, I agree with you. And we were actually just a couple of weeks ago hanging out with Dan Pincus, who is the founder of the World Golf Network with over 6,000 members. I'm going to get my ass kicked at racquetball again today for the third time, as this 55-year-old is going to teach this young buck what it really means to play racquetball. But he puts together incredible golfing events. We go monthly, and I hope to see you there soon. And thank you for being here on the show. And maybe you can teach me how to golf, because all I've learned is hit the ball, run, get it, and be fast if you suck. So I'd rather be a fast golfer than a good golfer. So Gina, who's next?
Now joining us from Lawrenceville, New Jersey, this gentleman is a shareholder and trial attorney at Stark & Stark, past president of the South Asian Bar Association of New Jersey, appointed to a 3-year term by the Supreme Court of New Jersey to the Committee on Unauthorized Practice of Law, and he sits on 3 committees on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Please, everyone, put your hands together for Bhavan, Jani.
Brother, welcome to the party. And I'm sorry that you are low in population, as we're surrounded by all these powerful women. But I have a bone to pick with you. There's a certain rule on The Real Raw that I have to have the best hair. And I don't appreciate you having a better hairdo than I do. So outside of that, Bhavan, I guess I'll like you and I'll let you stay on the show.
Thank you.
What's a fun fact about you, my friend?
Fun fact is I have 3 kids under 7, 3 boys. So it gets very crazy here. We just got back from the shore and I need a vacation from my vacation.
Based on that, it means that you're an incredible father and you give them incredible amounts of your time, your energy, and that's a super beautiful thing. I honor you for what you do in diversity and inclusion. My co-founder, Sean, who's actually on a plane on the way to Ukraine right now, who's usually the regular host of the show, has had the privilege to speak in front of 180 plus executives at the Walt Disney Company on diversity and inclusion. We've trained T-Mobile, a Fortune 10 company, on unconscious bias. And these are real conversations that need to be had. And if it's not for leaders like you who are leading them, a lot of the conversations would not be had. So privileged to have you here, Bhavan, and I appreciate your cool haircut also. Gina, who are we going to?
Next up, I believe this gentleman is also called Brian, Mr. Schwartz. He's a managing partner at Esquire Process Servicing, assists those in the legal field with swift, honest, affordable services, and he's one of the lead sponsors for the New Jersey Bar Association convention. Joining us from Brick, New Jersey, currently in his car, Baruch Schwartz.
Baruch, Brian, welcome. So brother, you are muted and driving, so please be safe. If you want to just listen in, your safety is way more important than your participation. And simply based on the fact that you have the integrity to even show up says a lot about you. So if you want to chat momentarily, what's a fun fact about you besides that you have 2 names because of Gina?
Well, you know, I have a Hebrew name of Baruch, and it's just hard for people to pronounce it correctly, which is really even not the correct way. The real way to pronounce it is Baruch. And so it just, I go by Brian on the street. It's just easier that way. It just streamlines everything. But other than that, is that it's been a long day, and I'm glad I was able to join. That's it.
Brian,
thank you. I don't mean to interrupt, but what kind of service are you in?
service of process, and legal courier work.
Okay, thanks.
Well, thank you, Carol. And I love you for jumping in. I respect that very much so. And for everyone, this is an interactive experience. This is not a Fernando, Gina, Drew show. This is about you. So Brian, thank you. And my fun fact is that he said that that's my name on the streets. So my level 5 listening is that Brian has some gangsta inside him, but we'll figure that out later. G, who are we going to now?
Well, I'm glad she spoke up because that's where we're going next. And this is what it's about too. You all will want to know who each other are when you walk away here likely and have the info of each other. So feel free to put it in the chat. She's a partner at KS Brannigan, Seton Hall Law, School of Law, Legislative Journal member and published author, soon to be Seton Hall adjunct law professor, and New Jersey Women Lawyers Association co-general counsel. Please join me, everyone, in welcoming Carol Lynn Nowicki to the Real Raw.
Lighting up the screen with her smile, with her presence. Woof! We can feel your energy, Carol. So thank you again for being here with us. What day is it today? On a Wednesday. And besides me forgetting my days, what's a fun fact about you, Carol?
So, I mean, I could give you a fun fact about work, but I'll give you a personal fun fact.
Yes, love that.
I'm a certified scuba diver. So I have I've gone scuba diving in the Caribbean, which is amazing. And, you know, with sea turtles and stingrays and barracuda and even a shark once. It's a really cool experience if you haven't tried it and would love to try it.
Carol, that is super fun. And I want you to be the judge of my fun fact because you're clearly cooler than I am. I just finished getting certified 2 weeks ago. We brought
Congratulations.
Thank you. We brought about 90 members of Unblinded to the Grand Caymans. We saw our first reef shark. We released a turtle into the wild. We kissed stingrays. I went 100 feet and I taught 10 people how to scuba dive. And I did my entire certification in 72 hours. So knowing, there you go, that's the reaction I always get. Would that be considered cool and fun, or am I just like a normal dude?
No, that's amazing. It usually takes at least 5 days.
Yes, so it was 3 days of intensity. I did my exam in 2.5 hours. I was in the pool the next day for my open water dive. I flew to Grand Cayman by 1:30, by 2:30 in the ocean. The next day I was hanging out with sharks and turtles, and now I'm certified to scuba dive, and I have 8 dives in 7 days. So Carol, I love that fun fact, and thank you for sharing a little bit of your fun side. I appreciate you.
A stare down with a shark, no, Fernando?
Yeah. Thank you for hitting my nervous system. Not only did I swim next to a reef shark, it actually came over this giant coral, and we played chicken for the longest 5 minutes of my life as it stared at me. There's one thing to see it and it looks elegant. There's another thing to have it swimming at you. And I'm like, please just turn. Please just turn. And then eventually it did. And I'm alive and on the Real Raw. So thank you for that, G. Who's next?
Next, from Austin, Texas, senior account manager at lawpay.com, 11 years servicing top law firms all over the country, overseeing 7,000 law firms as account manager. Please, everyone, join me in welcoming Valerie Santos to the Real Raw.
So Valerie has to be one of the craziest people on this call. You have chosen to sell to attorneys for a decade. What is wrong with you? I'm just kidding. So do I. I love your database. That's incredible. I thought I was cool. I've had 6,000 people on my show. You have 6,000 people in your network. You're a straight up rock star. So Valerie, outside of you crushing it and selling to some of the most interesting people on earth, wink, wink, because there's a bunch of attorneys here. What is a fun fact about you, Valerie?
Going with the water theme.
Sure.
I took a 4-day boot camp to learn to swim about 1.5 years ago. So that was my pandemic learn. Petrified of the water. I had been pulled around the ocean for scuba diving, snorkeling. That just means that a little man in a jacket pulled me around. But I went to a 4-day camp in Arizona and jumped in the deep end. Had a panic attack, but I can swim kind of now. So I didn't learn to scuba, but I can swim.
As long as you can survive and not drown, you're swimming.
I think so. I mean, it was 12 feet that you jump in and then you have to come back up and like breathe and get yourself out of the pool. So I feel good about it.
That is certainly considered the deep end, and I acknowledge you for facing your fear. That is way more impressive than me learning how to scuba dive, because most people will live and die without ever doing what you did. And that shows incredible depth into your self-mastery and the fact that you have an open mindset, even after years of doing what you do. So thank you for that fun fact, Valerie. Gina, who do we got next?
Joining us from the home of Six Flags Great Adventure.
What?
She's a senior accountant at Aquavella, Chiarella, Schuster, certified public accountants and advisors. She's a client liaison for one of America's top accountants for mortgage bankers, and previously an auditor at Price Waterhouse from Jackson, New Jersey. Oh, and maybe I said something wrong. You can tell us. Please join me, everyone, in welcoming Melissa Mitchell to The Real Raw.
Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me.
It's beautiful to be here with you. And all I can think about is asking you the question, would you ever ride King Dakar and El Toro blindfolded? That's my question to you.
No way.
Okay, no, so we're gonna put that in the no category.
No, I'm not a risk taker. You guys are all with the scuba diving. That's not me. I can't. Too claustrophobic, I think.
Yes. So outside of crazy shenanigans, what's like maybe a fun fact about you? Maybe you have 9 toes, you like cooking spaghetti, or maybe your most embarrassing moment ever. I'm just kidding. Don't share.
We don't want that. Well, my pandemic thing was art. So I started getting into art and doing fluid art, trying to get a YouTube channel together and try and make that, it's not passive income, but make, kind of something just a little different to feed the creative side of me, because let's face it, it's a black and white and red world that I live in, mostly red sometimes for some clients. And it's nice to be able to see something with a lot of color. And I haven't been successful, but I try. I do try.
Well, just like Valerie, that's beautiful that you're exploring your creative juices. I've never heard anyone share it that way, black, white, and red, and that resonates with me quite deeply, because it's true. I say black, white, and gray, but I like black, white, and red, and secretly those are my favorite colors, so I'm a little biased. So thank you for being here, Melissa. Gina, who do we continue with?
Our final rock star of the day, managing partner at Fox Rothschild in Morristown, New Jersey, recognized by Chambers USA for bankruptcy and restructuring in New Jersey, selected to the list of best 50 women in business by NJ Biz and Super Lawyers for bankruptcy law in New Jersey. Seton Hall alumni Fernando, please join me, everyone, in welcoming Kathy Youngman to The Real Raw.
How are you? I don't know what your law firm has in its water or its culture. You're the third partner from the firm I've had the privilege to talk to, and they're all absolute badasses and quite interesting and fun folk, to say the least. So Catherine, welcome. Thank you for being. Is it Catherine or Kathy? What do you prefer?
Either one, all good. Even Kate, I go by all 3. Kate was what my family called me when I was little. Kathy was kind of like a nickname that people have, and then sometimes for business they use Catherine. So I'm pretty much answering almost anything. So
I'm gonna bypass the Catherine. I'm gonna go Kathy, and I'm gonna earn my way to Kat. But what is a fun fact about you?
Well, I'm going to change it up from what I was going to talk about, but I will talk about scuba diving again, because I'm just so amazed, like the synergies of like how things happen. I discovered during the pandemic, less than a year ago, that I had a half sister, an older sister I never knew about.
Wow.
And she's totally cool. And I got the opportunity to meet her late last year. She owns a really great scuba dive company in Kona in Hawaii. So for all of you scuba dive folks, she's great. Her company is great. She's fantastic person. And I'm going to become scuba certified this year.
Wow. Kathy.
It's something I've never done. I've snorkeled, but I've never taken the plunge to go down under. So I'm really looking forward to it. Very excited to hear some people that are so enthusiastic about it.
Wow.
So.
Kathy, listen, Carol is the expert in the room. I will share with you. It's an extraordinary experience, and it's this simple. Don't forget to breathe, equalize, and that's pretty much it. You won't die, you won't blow up, you won't implode. But if you read the test, you will be scared the bejesus out of you, because that's what they tell you is going to happen, but it doesn't happen. And the most tranquil piece of it is you can't hear anything. and all you hear is your BCD, you hear yourself breathing. And the moment you come up from the water after a 40-minute dive, it is so surreal. And being 100 feet underwater and looking up and not seeing a sky and seeing an ocean, there's something about that that is just incredible and beautiful. And thank you, Kathy, for being here. And I hope to hear or see a video of you scuba diving. So now, what the heck do we do now? Gina, I'm going to have you choose our participants and our judges, but for everyone, this is what we call a shared experience. And my co-founder, Sean Callaghy, who is the natural host of the show, built and sold his first law firm after being $100,000 in debt from law school at 27 and sold it by 31. Currently owns a 150-person law firm, and he's never worked more than 6 months a year. And he did it through the work in which we teach. And at this point, Unblinded, as I shared, he's been able to speak at the Walt Disney Company, T-Mobile. He shared Tony Robbins' stage 18 times. And for some of you who don't know Tony Robbins, here's a gentleman who coaches presidents, sports teams. He's worth $750 million. And he has said publicly, no one leads with more heart and integrity than Sean Callaghy. And why we do this show is to demonstrate just how Michael Jordan shot a basketball, Derek Jeter hit a baseball. We are showcasing that your ability to communicate and influence is truly a superpower. And we do it through a fun game that we're about to play. So Gina, who's our contestants?
Our contestants are our golf queen, Marianne, and Miss Kristen Tyler. So
we got Kristen and Marianne. This is super fun. And I love Mary, your own no. So I'm going to give you a chance to gamble. So here's what's going to happen. And here's what I'm going to promise. After 550 episodes and 6,000 professionals, we've had a grand total of 0 deaths. So no one's died on the show. Everyone's going to be okay. And we're going to start with you, Mary. I have a 1 or a 2 under the desk. What do you choose?
2.
It is a 2. So you have 1 the toss. So you have the option. Would you like to go first, or would you like Kristen to go first? Your thoughts?
You can let Christian go first.
All right. Kristen, here's how it's going to go. This is very simple. We're going to give you 3 minutes to have a role play mock conversation with Gina. And you get to make Gina whatever you want. She could be a law firm. She could be someone hiring you to speak. She could be someone that you want a donation to your favorite charity from. My suggestion would be to choose a yes that would make sense to showcase your business, because that's what we're doing here. It's a lot more congruent than saying, hey, Kristen, here's a minute, give me your pitch. I'd rather you showcase how you treat people, how you build rapport with Gina. And after the 3 minutes, Mary, you're going to do the same. After that, for everyone else on the show, you're going to be the judges. And what that means is you're going to assess the conversation. What did you enjoy? What are maybe some things you would do differently? And then a score from 1 to 10. The reason why we do this, number 1, is to demonstrate that every day we're influencing. And number 2, whether you want to admit it or not, we are being assessed by how we communicate every day, consciously and subconsciously. So Kristen, my question to you is, what is the yes you're seeking, and who would you like Gina to be?
Fernando, hang on 1 second. I'm going to interject for 2 seconds. I just want the judges to know that they're going to have 30 seconds. And what I'd love to do is have 3 judges follow Kristen, 3 follow Marianne. Does that work? Is that what you were going to do, Fernando?
Yeah, I had that in my mind. And thank you, Gina, for keeping structure, integrity. As you can see, timeliness and order means a lot to Gina. So thank you, Gina, for doing that. Kristen, who would you like Gina to be? And what is the yes you're seeking from her?
Okay, Gina, you are the managing partner of a small law firm. You're growing very quickly because you're a genius at marketing and your clients love you and you do good work, and you're struggling to find the staff you need to power your firm and meet all of your clients' demands at the high levels you expect.
Amazing.
Okay?
Got it.
Gina, any questions on that? Something tells me, Kristen, this is not the first time you've done this. So let's have some fun. The timer starts in 3, 2, 1. Gina, over to you.
Hello, this is Gina.
Hey, Gina, it's Kristen at Law Clerk. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks so much for taking time today. I know you're super busy and your time's valuable, but I'd love to hear some more about you and your firm. Tell me about it. When did you found your firm?
Well, thank you. I have just about a couple minutes and a half. So I founded my firm 5 years ago, and it has been a ride. It's been very, it's been amazing. And there's not enough of me to go around, and I need help.
You need help. Yes, we hear that a lot. What are some of your pain points right now in terms of, where you could use assistance? Is it with administrative help, substantive legal work, wink, wink, or, what kinds of tasks would you like to outsource if you had some more help around on the team?
I definitely, I don't want to bring on another partner right now, but I definitely can use some substantive legal work. I definitely can use maybe another associate. I just don't have time. I just have not had time. I can't take away from my clients to go look for the right people.
Absolutely.
And it's just been overwhelming me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really glad that we're talking then, because I think maybe I can help. So I know firsthand hiring is hard. It takes up so much time, and you're just always thinking, I should be working on this client file. I don't have time to do all these interviews and everything. So I'm really glad that you reached out to set up this call. So what we do at Law Clerk is we help connect busy attorneys like you with our nationwide network of freelance lawyers. We have freelance lawyers in all different practice areas, all 50 states, all different experience levels, and then can be a way for you to tap in and get that little bit of extra help you need when you need it, whether that's once in a while or every single day. Okay, so you following me so far?
I am following, and I'm intrigued.
Okay, so if you want to know more, our website, as you may already know, is lawclerk.legal. A couple points out the bat: there's no fee to sign up. There's no monthly fee. So unlike a lot of services that you may be using every month, or you may have an account for every month, you're not going to be paying for Law Clerk whether you use it or not. No fee, no monthly fee. Once you have your account, then there's two ways we can help you get help. You can either connect with a freelance lawyer on project-based work. So just piece by piece, when you say, hey, I need someone to dig in and research this issue, I don't have time to do it. Or, hey, I need someone to draft this motion because I'm in trial and I don't have time to do it. You can do project by project work, super easy. Or if you feel like maybe you could use an associate, but you don't want to hire someone the traditional way, we could also match you with a subscription-based remote associate for anywhere from 30 hours a month or more. You tell us what you need, you tell us the specs, and we go out to our network to find the top candidates for you to consider. So, like I said, and you can mix and match those too. Maybe you say, I do want a subscription, but then you need to supplement that once in a while with some projects to specialists. You can really get creative with the service. So, Gina, does this sound like something you might be interested in? I know you're short on time today, but maybe we could schedule a full-length demo later on this week.
You have my attention, Kristen. Absolutely. Let's make it happen. Thank you so much.
Incredible job, Kristen. Just to acknowledge a few points, I loved your patience in asking questions up front, not making it about business at the beginning. Why'd you build a law firm? Many people skip that question. I love the certainty in Zeus and how you shared your brilliance, like wink, wink, and how you dropped into your identity and how you waited right at the end to truly drop down what you know. You've had this conversation before. You knew Gina's pain points. You were waiting for her to share them. So overall, incredibly congruent, great variance, great speed, great tempo, and you got your yes. So just in a few seconds, how did that feel for you, Kristen?
Well, that is a conversation I've had a lot of times, and so that went well. Gina was a great sport and played along nicely. But I definitely am super curious to hear what feedback the judges have, because I always wonder, like, how does this go across? I mean, I am a lawyer, so I do feel like I understand my clients' pain points in hiring and staffing. But I would love any feedback because I know I can always do better.
Well, we're going to get to that feedback, and we're going to go Valerie, Bhavan, and Carol. You're going to be sharing your assessment of Kristen. And then we have Kathy, Melissa, and Brian. You're going to be sharing the assessment of Mary, who's about to continue. So Mary, same two questions. Are you still feeling like you did when you found out you were the contestant, or has it subsided just a little bit, just a tad? So my two questions are, what is the yes you're seeking in the world, Mary? And who would you like Gina to be? Over to you.
Well, let's put it this way. I don't typically call on the phone. Okay. My whole idea is relationship building. So I may meet Gina at a networking group and you start a relationship. I don't pick up the phone to call anybody to get business because it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, Mary,
So that's the way I do it. I'm just going to be honest. It's our relationship. So Gina could be at a networking event.
Perfect.
She's a women-owned business, and we can go from a small conversation. But I don't go for the hard yes ever on the first try because it never works.
Yeah, and Mary, just to be clear, we're not looking for social security numbers or credit cards.
No, I never look for the hard yes because it's our relationship.
We
People
agree.
click to do business, and if it works, it works. I don't telemarket, so I don't do that. So
Mary, 100%. And how we met all of you is exactly that way. Drew went somewhere, connected with all you incredible people, and we have this platform to bring us together, because this is way more effective than going to a networking event with 50 people where you're in a room with 10 people you know you could do business with. You have a speaking platform, and this is what we call ecosystem merging. So I'm 100% in alignment with you. Gina, you're at an event. You are a woman-owned business, clearly, and we're going to go from hello to yes with no social security cards and no.
I'm not even talking about that. It's just getting to know her on a personal level, and then following up with a second appointment.
Sounds like a yes to me. So here we go. Kicking it over to you, Gina, in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, Gina.
Hey, Mary.
How are you today?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. I love your shoes, by the way. They're great. Where'd you get them from? I have to know.
Oh, thanks. They are simply Steve Madden's from Steve Madden
Great
online.
shoemaker. Great shoemaker. So what brings you to this event today?
You know what? I have just been, it's been crazy busy. My business is booming. I have a bunch of women entrepreneurs. We're working with many women in their business to accelerate their business and relationship capital, and we're having fun. So we love to be here to meet more people.
Okay.
Like you.
So what got you started on your new business? On your business? What got you what's the heart that made your business grow?
Okay, the heart that made my business grow.
Well, what made you go into this particular business?
I got you.
Sorry.
That's okay. I got like just a couple minutes, but I'll give you a quick share.
Please.
I am someone who, as many of us, have gone through massive trials and tribulations. I lost a child when she was 3.5. That was a horrible, very difficult time in my life. My marriage soon began to crumble, and I was, scared and alone at 47 with my living children and my sort of pain. And I didn't know where I was going because I didn't have a career. And I found this extraordinary leader and program, and these founders, Fernando Valencia, Sean Calgi, Adam Gugino, who spoke about integrity-based human influence. And I dreamed of creating something like that, that for women, that can help women really connect heart to heart and actualize their business and their scaling of their businesses. And so I've been working hand in hand to build the women's side of that company, Unblinded. So I am privileged to meet you, Marianne. Thank you for asking.
I am so sorry about your loss. That's a terrible tragedy, and to grow to this, it's incredible how far you come. A little bit what I do is I listen and ask questions to women-owned businesses. I typically do a lot of hand-holding so I can make their dreams come true. So I want to know more about you and see how I can help you and move on. I want your business to be as large as you want it to be. So that's basically what I do.
Amazing.
A little bit about myself. I've been in the business for over 30 years, and it's a relationship. So hopefully one day we can have a cup of coffee soon next week, and we can move on from that.
Let's do it. I'd love it. Thank you.
Right on the buzzer. Great job, Mary. And I would be remiss, Gina, to not acknowledge you and intro you. That story is true, what Gina just shared. And she's currently going through more challenges that we are having her in our prayers for, and I will keep those private. And the speed in which you've grown, how you stand for your teammates, yourself, women in the world is extraordinary. And the world would be a darker place if it did not have your heart and your energy. And I'm just grateful that you're here with me and with these fine folks on The Real Raw. So Gina, I just wanted to share that.
Thank you. I love you. You all, this is a 30-year-old rock star, like the age of one of my children. And I'm so grateful for you, Fernando. Thank you for all you do and what you bring to the world. This man is heart. This man is acceleration. This man is truly like blowing my mind every day with what he is doing and bringing to the world. So thank you, Fernando. Thanks for those words. Back to you.
Mary, it's an incredible job in what we call creating a zone of safety and asking questions that brought Gina to her heart. And we can feel your tone, your pace. It was slower than a lot of ours on the call. And that is a beautiful thing because that's where Gina was. You matched and mirrored her beautifully, whether it was consciously or not. And you created a beautiful yes. And you didn't speak too much about business, as you said you don't. You weren't going for any hard close whatsoever. You really, truly cared about Gina. And you complimented her shoes. And I think women like that. So great job, Mary. So now let's hear from our judges. So we're going to bounce around and we're going to start with Kathy first. And you're going to assess your thoughts on Mary. So what are some things you enjoyed? Maybe some things you would have done differently, and a score from 1 to 10. Over to you.
I thought you did a great job, especially when she said, "Hey, I don't really, I'm not comfortable kind of with a sale pitch." I liked, like you said, like she mirrored the timing and and actually, I appreciate Gina's honesty because you could tell that was an honest moment, but it was also sort of met with like I think the way she asked the question, like, well, what brought your heart to this? I think it almost like hit her. That's why she stopped for a second before she really answered like it. And I think, the biggest success when you connect with a client is just that human element, like you were saying, Marian, before, like that you don't really go in for a hard sell. So I thought that was really great. Just your sort of conversational, I've got this, and then pivot to what you do. The only thing I think I would do differently, and obviously this is all kind of set up, so you weren't necessarily prepared, is just to give a little more flavor as to the details of what you actually do. And
correct, yeah.
I know, like, I understand your theory, if not like the, like I said, it's a made up situation, so it's hard necessarily to say. But I thought that was really good, and just sort of you own sort of like, I can help you. This is what I've done my whole career, and I've got 30 years, and let's talk about it. And I just thought that positivity of always like actually setting the table for the listener to listen, to take in everything, and then basically say, I've got you.
And Catherine, for time's sake, what is your score so we could keep you all in time integrity?
An 8.2.
Got an 8.2. Wow, we got a 0.2. And shout out to Kathy's listening. I don't know if she was taking notes or not, but she's like, clearly must be an attorney or something. So great job on that beautiful feedback, Kathy. And now, Bhavan, we will go to you, sir. And can you please share your thoughts and remarks on Kristen? What are some things you enjoyed? Maybe an area of growth, and a score from 1 to 10.
Sure, thank you. So Mary kind of, the point that she made is kind of what I do. At the firm, I'm one of the biggest rainmakers. And that's because of the relationship building that I do. It's just hard to get someone like that on the phone. So, but from the point, as soon as you got her on the phone, it's obviously very difficult to keep her on the phone or even get her on the phone. So, I think you did a great job, when you first made the introduction. You're extremely knowledgeable about your business. You asked about her needs, and then based on her needs, you're trying to figure out synergies with your business and kind of going over the different ways that you can help her out. So that was great. And also, you talked about, ways that you could possibly increase her, time that she could spend on her business. And you could increase, something I wish you would have done was kind of talk about how you can increase her revenue. Based on, the different ways that you can help her out and how she could save money by using your services versus hiring an associate and all that. So I thought, overall, I thought it was great, but it's just very hard to get someone like Gina on the phone.
Yeah,
I know.
4 minutes, man. If I had one more minute, I could have got that.
Just that one more minute. And Bhavan, what's the score for you?
It's a 7. Yeah.
We got a 7, so we got an 8.2, and we got a 7 on the board from the Rainmaker himself. All right, so now we're going to go over to you, Melissa, to please share your thoughts and remarks on Mary. So what are some things you enjoyed, potentially an area of growth, and a score from 1 to 10?
I'm going to start off with the score 9.5. I think you're fantastic. I like your style. I like how you just came in, you get right in there, and it felt like to me you had skin in the game, so to say, that you're very interested in the person that you're talking to, and that speaks volumes to your experience. And we all can learn from that. I believe that's my particular style. Is I'm an empath, I think the word is, and I personally want to know what's going on with you. Why are you here? Like, what's going on? And I think Mary just it was a home run for me. It was a home run. I don't really have any criticism at all.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Coming from the woman that was nervous, she's like batting home runs over here. Right. See how it happens. And I just really, because I'm feeling it and I want to share it. At Unblinded, we do talk about safety a lot, and a lot in the world of personal professional development. I don't know. I am a man, in case you're all wondering. It is not always the safest environment for women. And we talk about how most of the time women tend to run away from the microphone and not share, not speak, and kind of not take up space. And I want to honor all of you for saying, no, I'm going to give the score first. And Carol's like, I'm going to jump in. And everyone's just creating what they're creating. That's awesome, incredible. And I am just present to wanting more of that on the show. And I just appreciate all of you for standing for what you're standing for. This is a lot more than just a Zoom call, I promise you, but it is our first cup of coffee. So Melissa, great job on the feedback. And now we kick it to Valerie. So Valerie, you are on the hot seat. We'd love to hear your feedback on Kristen. What are some things you enjoyed? Maybe, an area of growth or a score, or do it in whatever order you want. I'm okay with that also.
I thought she did great. I would give her a 9.5, and I base that on her audience that she chose was someone who wanted to hear her pitch. And she was very mindful of the time that they had given to her to make sure that she made all the points and it was very clear and concise. And she didn't over explain things. She gave them an opportunity to ask a question. She kept a pace that I find difficult on a call like that, where I know that I need to ask them a question, but I also know I have 3 minutes. I have 3 minutes before I lose their attention and they're on to something else. And I thought she did a really good job of keeping that pace and staying on task. So I don't have any you should have done. I honestly was like, oh gosh, I should be recording because I know I could do this pace better if I was if I could mimic her a little bit. So.
Well, the good news is this is live on Facebook, so you can go back to it.
Yes.
To watch it again.
I honor
Valerie. I'll be cyber stalking you later.
And just for everyone, so after this, I do a talk show where I've interviewed close to 2,500 professionals over the last 2 years. And the show ends with me giving you access to everyone on the show. And I am what's known as a super connector in the legal, financial, and accounting space. That's what I do for a living. I do these virtually. I put dinners. I take people to Cayman. I do tons of events with hundreds of people. Because my mentor once told me, if you want to make a lot of money, don't be an accountant, a lawyer, or a financial service provider. Go hang out with all of them. And that's what I did for the last decade. So far, he was right. And I hope to keep bringing that here. So Valerie, love your share. And now we continue with Brian coming in from the car, ready to roll, doing his thing, showing up. And we're going to have your thoughts and feedback on Mary. So what are some things you enjoyed? Maybe an area of optimization, and a score from 1 to 10, Brian.
So regarding that, for Mary, I feel her exactly as far as coming to a show or an event. That's exactly the way I connect to people. I feel that my clients are primarily attorneys, and the way we can get to them is word of mouth. And as she said, is through relationships. It's all relationship based. And as Catherine said, the one thing that I would have done different is the actual explaining what she actually does. It's very nice to get to know somebody and try to, but when you're there and you have that 3-minute window of opportunity, you also want them to know what you actually do. It's the comfort and that caring that she showed was really essential. But when you're in a field where you're trying to pitch and you have the next person waiting and you're trying to get that next person, you need to actually pitch what you're actually doing.
100%. And I think we would all enjoy hearing how you talk to attorneys, but we will have to save that for another show. And what is the score from you, my friend?
I'm going to give her a 7.
We got So we got a 7 on the board. So we got an 8.2. We got a 9.5 and a 7. And our final judge is going to be you, Carol. So same thing. By this point, you know the drill. What are some things you enjoyed, an area of growth, and a score of 1 to 10 for Kristen?
Kristen, I thought you did a fabulous job. You have a great elevator speech, which is difficult for a lot of people to develop. I like the way that you hit the points of, what you do, and people are always concerned about how much it's going to cost me. So I think you manage that well too. Just a couple of constructive criticisms. You spoke a little too fast. I actually was trying to write down your website because I wanted to give it to somebody I know, and I missed it. And the other thing is that in today's society, I'm an employment lawyer, so we're always thinking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I think you might want to add that into, a component that you can use to sell your services.
Absolutely, I will do that. We're starting a pilot program with the American Bar Association specifically on diversity and inclusion, and the opportunities that a service like this brings to a lot of lawyers to have freelance careers and make that work for their lifestyle. So thank you. Appreciate that, Carol.
That was a incredible detailed piece of optimization. And I'm sorry if I missed it. What was the score from you, Carol?
9.
We got a 9 on the board. So by a sliver of 0.8, the winner of today's Real Raw is Kristen. Congratulations. You have won today's Real Raw. Mary, incredible job stepping in there. And Kristen, you asked for it. You wanted some feedback. So your thoughts, was this valuable, helpful, and what say you in 15 seconds or less?
It was helpful. Reaffirms that my kind of standard pitch is on the right track. Reminds me, as my mother always says, I need to talk slower and I need to be mindful of including other key facts about revenue, making more money, and diversity. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah, and Kristen, listen, truly incredible job. And as we grow up in the world, most of us are taught communication reactively. If someone yells at me, I do this. If someone looks at me wrong, I do this. It's not very often, and I can clearly hear the mastery on the call, that we choose the way we communicate intentionally. And even when we do, whether it's through emotional intelligence or whatever, how do you train that? How do you replicate it? Have you ever just seen someone and said, wow, they're so authentic. They're so genuine. That is a teachable skill. I was a short, shy, chubby boy with braces for more than half my life. I wasn't this guy. I made him. And I've learned a lot of what I am and what I do now through our work, through meeting Sean. And it is 100% possible to rise and grow in your communication. And Mary, I'd love to hear from you. The beginning, you were one way, and then you stepped in powerfully in your heart and your Zeus energy. So what say you about the experience? And we all know that clearly you value building relationships. I don't think it'd be a bad thing to jump on a Zoom call like this every day with people you don't know, that you didn't assemble, and talk about Valley. I think that's kind of fun. So how was your experience on the Real Raw today, Mary?
It was fun. I was taken back a little bit by the true experience. So that's the real reason I didn't bring product up, but every experience, you may have that every time. So I kind of swallowed my heart a little bit and tried to continue. So,
well, Mary,
so it was a good experience.
Yeah, thank you for moving through that fear. And, Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan till you get punched in the face, or until you meet Drew Berman. He invites you on a Real Raw and I show up. But like I promised, no one's died. So we're ending nice and early. So Gina, I can end my workday and just take a nap, right?
No, Fernando. I was thinking, guys, can we put Fernando on the hot seat? What do you think?
Why do you love this part
like
so much? And I don't appreciate all the women going,
Yeah, did you see
you're like,
that?
yeah, put that dude on the hot seat. So I loud and clear, Bhavan is just standing there, and all the women are like, yeah. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to step away. So I have zero influence on the group, and I'm going to allow you to create a scenario. And sometimes I role play, Mary or Kristen on them, and I just redo the scenario. Sometimes it's one of you, or sometimes it's something totally random, like selling ice cream to a lactose intolerant person integrally. So I'm going to walk away for a few. And Gina, when you're ready, holla, and I'll be right back.
All right, we got this. So here's how it's gonna go. I'm gonna put a number between 1 and 10 under the desk, And you guys, or whoever gets closest to it, is going to create a scenario that you want to see Fernando go from hello to yes. And it'll be just like you did, but it'll be sort of the role reversal. And it could be any one of you. All right, how does that sound? So I'm gonna come to Marianne, you first.
10.
1 to 10.
No, 10.
10, got it. Valerie, how about you?
7.
Okay, Baruch.
3.
It is a 3. I need not go any further. So Baruch, you can create a scenario or you can pass it to someone else for which you can choose. What will it be?
No, I have scenarios where, so I'm going to give my shot for we might as well try.
Oh no, but Baruch, you're really going in and out. I actually couldn't hear what you said. Would it be okay? Were you saying to pass it?
Said
or were you
that
gonna... Okay.
I was going to try to keep it because I believe that this is an opportunity.
Beautiful. I love it. So you can create a scene and be the role player with Fernando, or you can create the scene, tell us what the scene is, and have someone else be the role player. So that's your last decision. Then Fernando's rocket ready to rock. Which one? What will it be?
You create the scenario. I'll role play with Drew Berman as he's been quietly waiting to be tagged in on the show. So what scenario would you like to create? And I appreciate that you see this as an opportunity. Thank you. What scenario would you like?
So if I'm given the mic, so I might as well do for what I do in my business. I'm a legal courier service for attorneys. We primarily try to attract clients to give them the swift, integral service that we provide that most attorneys in any situation, as far as a legal battle would need, as far as service process, subpoenas, so on and so forth.
Okay, I have no idea what you just said, and I'm going to do it anyway. So here we go. So Drew, you're going to be an attorney. I'm looking to provide comfort, ease into your business, and we're going to do a little role play for 3 minutes. Baruch, is that cool with you?
Go ahead.
And you say the word one more time. As courier services?
Courier service of process.
Okay, let's do the things. For all my attorney friends, have fun, and I can't wait to hear the feedback. So Drew, are you ready? I don't know what you're saying because you're muted, but you look ready. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hi, is this Drew Berman?
This is Drew Berman.
Well, Drew, thank you. I know I'm calling you out of nowhere. My name is Brian, and I have a really intentional reason for this phone call. But before I go any further, I understand you're a busy attorney, and I'm here to have a conversation on helping you have what is really elusive to attorneys, which is time. But before we go any further, would you mind sharing maybe 2.5 minutes to have a conversation?
You're right. It is all about time. I am very busy. I have about 2 minutes, so sure, I can do that.
Well, Drew, thank you. And it sounds like you might be saying yes just to say yes. And I promise you, I'm not going to take more than those 2.5 minutes. And I know that billable hours are a thing and time matters. I just got a few questions for you, Drew. You deal with an extraordinary amount of pressure and tension all the time, and that takes a very special human being. What led you to law to begin with?
I mean, I thought in school I would, it seemed like a safe, smart career. Law school seemed like the next good step. And then I realized over time that it actually is more of a business, and I have to deal with a lot of things outside of the law to run a business in the law.
Well, Drew, you got that right, brother. And some, law schools should be sued, and that's its own conversation, because the world of law and the business of law is completely different. And some of my friends like Bhavan have realized that being a rainmaker and creating marketing and sales is truly the path to creating freedom in the world of law. And I'll ask you this, Drew, where are you now with the firm? And the reason I ask is I've had the privilege to have thousands of conversations with attorneys. You're either A, looking to grow your firm by generating revenue, B, you're looking to recruit more teammates, or 3, you're looking to keep the wheels on the bus and not die. So where would you say you are, Drew?
Yeah, I'd say we're growing. It's a sweet spot of how fast to grow, how many teammates to hire. So I'd say it's a combination of growing and wanting to hire the right people.
And Drew, I know we got about 60 seconds left, and I unfortunately can't answer the world's problems in 60 seconds, but I will ask you this. One of the downfalls of the reasons why lawyers don't have time is because like high producers that you are, you tend to want to do everything yourself. And there's a world that I've created where I support attorneys like you, and one, teaching you don't have to do everything yourself by earning your trust, and two, by having a proven track record, how I've helped so many other attorneys. And I want to go through my services and how I support, you through that legal function, but we got 30 seconds left. So my request is this, and I will keep it simple. If I can promise you to show you in one more conversation on how my services not only save you time, it also adds to the bottom line, would you be open to a 60-minute conversation where I can show you a presentation, get to know you a little more? And if I don't do that in an hour, you can tell the whole world I sell snake oil. That's how confident I am of what I do, who I am, and how I do it. So Drew, I know you got to go. What is it going to take to earn another 60 minutes if I make that commitment that by the end you will have those answers?
I mean, if you can save me time and help me make more money, I feel like I need 3 of me. So that sounds like a conversation I should have. And I would have that meeting with you.
And Drew, only because you talk to a random stranger for 3 minutes and that makes you really weird in the world. What do you do for fun, man? Outside of dealing with what you deal with, what do you do for fun?
I've recently taken up trail running, actually.
Well, I want to learn more about trail running because I didn't know attorneys were cool. And I thought all they did was study and read, not trail run or scuba dive like some other people I know, wink, wink. So Mr. Berman, how is Tuesday or Wednesday at 4 o'clock for you? Or should I suggest a different time?
Actually, I could do Wednesday at 4. No worries.
Mr. Berman, we are locked and loaded. Please stay safe. Don't get eaten by a mountain lion. And I will see you next Wednesday. Have an incredible day.
Got it. Thanks.
Brian, your thoughts?
Fantastic. I couldn't have done it better. I don't typically do phone call conversations like you had with such type of conversation. It would be much harder for me to even get past the front secretary to be able to talk to the attorney directly. But once you got that in there, you definitely held his attention and you nailed it.
Well, Brian, I will tell you, because clearly I have no experience doing what you're doing. You are 100% capable, and there is a formula, there is a way. And the reason why we do this magic moment, one is to prove that you don't need to know all the benefits to open someone's listening. And that was my only outcome with Drew, was just to make them curious. So as we go around and end the show promptly on time, Valerie, how was your experience on The Real Raw? You're still alive, no one died. If someone says, was it worth it? Your thoughts?
Yeah, it was great. I watched the pre-video and still had no idea what to expect. And it feels like it was valuable time spent. So good stuff.
Well, thank you, Valerie. Kathy, your thoughts. How was your experience on the show today?
It was fun. It was interesting to connect with everybody and see everybody's way of doing it. And if anybody wants to talk to me about any of their services, they know where to find me. They'll get past my receptionist. So Baruch, if you want to hook me up, you can give me a call, or anybody else that's got anything where we can have crossover. Be great to follow up.
Thank you, Kathy.
Gatekeeper is a fun, easy, not like most gatekeepers. Carol, your thoughts and how was your experience on the show today?
I thought it was one of the best hours I've ever spent. I'm actually I'm a Tony Robbins fan, and I feel like this has been sort of modeled after what he does intentionally, I believe, and it has the same feel to it. And it was nice to connect with people I don't normally run into at my regular networking events, and very helpful, I thought. So thank you for inviting me.
That is a beautiful acknowledgement, Carol. Thank you. And I am blown away by how much you all understand this, from Brian understanding the opportunity of the magic moment, to all of you taking the microphone, to all of you sharing your identity and taking the right amount of space. Just the wisdom, the smarts here is incredible. And Drew, you did this. I might be the super connector in the room, but I learned from you because you put these people together, not me, brother. So incredible job. Bhavan, Mr. Rainmaker, someone who clearly knows how to go from hello to yes. How was your experience on the show today?
I thought it was incredible. I definitely learned a great point. Sometimes you get really wrapped up in generating the business and the relationship, and you talk about the business so much. I'm going to start asking people more, what do they like to do for fun? Because hearing that question, you really are getting on another level with folks when you're asking them, like, let's stop talking about business so much. Let's talk about, what makes you happy. And I thought that was a great, great question at the end.
So now you're gonna have the best hair and the best questions, dude. You gotta leave me something. So Alyssa, as final, your thoughts and how was your experience on the show?
Well, Fernando, I thought your presentation was the cherry on the cake here, or on the pie, because it's just you didn't know exactly what Drew was doing, but you created a synergy and a beginning, a middle, and an end, a conclusion, and you were upfront and honest. And I want to do business with you. There's no no screen around it. Like you're very honest, right to the point. And you're here to do business. You're not here. I mean, you can make friends. I mean, if you ask people, what they like to do for fun, I think you probably could find a friend. How about that? So I think that was pretty good. I really enjoyed it.
Melissa, thank you for listening to us and me the way you did. Truly, everyone, we've done hundreds of these episodes, and there's just something special about this one. So this is not the end. This is not the beginning. This is the beginning of the beginning. And what I'd like to do with all of you, and I know time is important, is I've hosted over 1,000 interviews over the last couple months. And everyone that's been on the show, I distribute those conversations with. So I don't know if any of my teammates, Gina or Drew, have dropped the link in the chat. I'd love to get that scheduled with you. And it'll just be you and I. No more surprises, Mary, I promise. And I will make sure you shine. I ask all the proper questions. I promise you will have fun. And it will be a piece of content that edifies, acknowledges you authentically, genuinely, and something you want to share. And that's our additional way to continue to provide value. And selfishly, I get to know you a little bit because all I heard was your bios, and usually people are more interesting than the bios. So that's it. It is 6:16. The Real Raw is complete. Great job, Mary. Congratulations, Kristen, on your win. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And thank you all so much for being here. Ciao for now.